Good morning, and welcome to this week's edition of Marquette in Motion. We are your hosts, Hallie Kilberg
and Miranda Peters. With the graduation season upon us, there are many signs signifying the end of the year.
And with the sun almost being nearly directly above us at high noon, there are many signs that it's time for the show to start. So, let's get right to it.
To start off segment 2, some kindergartners will be here discussing their upcoming kindergarten and first grade field trip.
Then Justina will be here with all of the details for next week's preschool graduation.
Garrett will then be here with this week's sports report.
In segment 3, Molly and Maura will be here interviewing the recipient of the VFW Teacher of the Year Award, Social Studies teacher Mr. Jim Hollinsby.
And then you'll be receiving all of Marquette's upcoming event details.
One upcoming event that many participants have been looking forward to for a very long time is the senior class trip.
As many of you know, the senior trip has become an annual tradition at Marquette, as in lieu of prom, the senior class travels together to see the sights of New York City and Washington, D.C.
Because the state track meet had in the past conflicted with the dates of the trip, in recent years the trip's organizers have moved the departure date back slightly to accommodate any and all senior state track participants.
Therefore, Marquette's senior class will leave for their week-long trip tonight, Saturday, May 19th, following the 4:15 Mass.
Students will sleep on the bus tonight, and tomorrow will arrive in D.C. They will spend their time in D.C. seeing many monuments, such as the Lincoln Memorial, Arlington National Cemetery, the Washington Monument, the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial.
And of course, they will be seeing the White House, the home of our U.S. President.
Following the trip to our nation's capital, Marquette seniors will then be off to New York, where they will be able to stop to shop, see Times Square, and experience subway systems.
In New York City, students will also see a Broadway show. Earlier in the year, the senior class voted on which Broadway show they wished to see, and the majority decided on the highly acclaimed Phantom of the Opera.
And on Friday, May 25th, they will be waking up before 5 a.m. and traveling to Times Square to make an appearance on the Today Show and view a live concert.
So be sure to tune in to the Today Show on Friday, and you just might see some familiar faces.
So, out of all of these amazing opportunities, which are our seniors most excited for? We took to the halls to find out.
Hannah Ray is excited to go to the Broadway show and experience New York.
Burke O'Brien is looking forward to the museums as well as the historical sites.
Alex Schwager is looking forward to the 9/11 Memorial and viewing the New York Mets game. Marcus Pruill is looking forward to the Smithsonian as well as the Mets game.
Blaine Banowitz is also excited for the Mets game. Madison Anderson is looking forward to spending time with friends as well as being in New York.
Paige Lampe is excited to be in Times Square on her birthday.
Shaunam Schmidt is looking forward to spending a week with just her classmates and not having any stress.
Annika Frank is excited to tour New York and explore with her friends.
Nathan Brinker is excited about going to Washington, D.C. and seeing all the museums and monuments.
Allison Hager is looking forward to being on the Today Show.
Ben Kettman is excited for the Smithsonian and the 9/11 museums.
Jalen Tyson is looking forward to the Big Guitar Center and Broadway show.
McKenna Mickles is excited to see New York and what big cities are like.
And Alexandria Swain is looking forward to spending time with her best friends in different places.
It's pretty evident that all of our seniors are very excited for this one-of-a-kind trip.
And we hope you're just as excited for our next 2 segments.
Don't go away. We'll be back with more Marquette in Motion right after the break. Welcome back to Marquette in Motion. Just like the seniors, the kindergartners and first graders are also going on a special field trip next week. And they too will be traveling to a different state. Here are some kindergartners to tell us all about it.
On Friday, May 25th, kindergartners and first graders will enjoy a field trip to Wisconsin and Dubuque. We will leave school at approximately 8:30 a.m. with our first destination being Hazel Green in the Hazel Green Upper House, where we will see a real marionette show.
The show is called The Town Musicians. We will then travel to Dubuque to eat lunch at Pizza Ranch.
After lunch, we will visit the Creative Adventure Lab.
After the lab, you'll be going to the National Mississippi River Museum and Aquarium. We can't wait until our field trip!
Thanks, kindergartners. As many of you know, we will celebrate the Senior Graduation Mass next Sunday, May 27th. But as many of you may not know, the preschoolers have a special graduation Mass coming up too. Justina Denlinger is here with the details.
This Thursday evening, May 24th, Marquette's 4-year-old preschool class will be having its graduation celebration at St. Joseph's Church at 6:30 p.m. Yes, they will even be dressed in caps and gowns. Preschool teacher, Mrs. Teresa Schwager, will share a message, and principal, Mr. Jeff Kaiser, will play a video created by him that will feature the preschoolers. The preschoolers will also be singing a few songs, one of which is called Kindergarten Here I Come. Here's a sneak peek into the song.
Graduation day, graduation day, graduation day is finally here. Graduation day, graduation day, graduation day is finally here.
Thanks, preschoolers, and of course, that evening, the students will receive their diplomas. Following the graduation ceremony, families can meet in Kiefer Hall for cookies and punch. For Marquette in Motion, this has been Justina Denlinger.
Thanks, Justina. And now here's Garrett with the sports report.
Thanks, girls. Starting with last week's results. On Friday, the girls and boys soccer teams played Monticello at home. Here, both of them were able to pull off a win, with the final score of the games being 4-0 for the boys and 5-1 for the girls. The boys' golf sectional meet was also on Friday. Here, the Marquette team placed 5th overall. The girls and boys soccer teams started off this week at home playing Central DeWitt and Prince of Peace. The boys were able to win against Prince of Peace with a score of 6-1. However, the girls were not able to pull off a victory despite a tough fight. On Monday as well, the girls' golf team attended their regional golf meet in Midland. State track competitions began this past Thursday, May 17th, and will wrap up later today. Here, the Marquette team began their races with Hallie Kilberg, who ran a 3,000-meter run Thursday morning. She placed 22nd with a time of 11 minutes and 59 seconds. Next was the girls' 4x8 meter relay. This team, made up of Hallie along with Ashley Coos, Paige Lampy, and Annika Frank, took 9th place with a time of 10 minutes and 17 seconds. Yesterday morning, May 18th, Caleb Schrader took to high jump, where he cleared a height of 5'10" to take 18th place. Finally, today, Annika Frank is set to run the 800-meter dash, and Hallie Kilberg will compete in the 1,500-meter run. These results will be in next week's edition. Also yesterday, both the boys and girls soccer teams traveled to Monticello. However, we will also have these results in next week's edition as well. For Marquette in Motion, this has been Garrett Krieg with your Marquette Sports Report.
Thanks, Garrett. Don't go away. We'll be back with more Marquette in Motion after the break.
Welcome back. Last week, our social studies teacher was recognized as being Iowa's VFW Teacher of the Year. Here now are Molly and Maura with the interview of Mr. Jim Hollinsby.
We are here interviewing our teacher, Mr. Holmesby, who recently won VFW State of Iowa Teacher of the Year Award.
Could you explain a little bit about your role at Marquette?
Well, this is my 7th year at Marquette. I've been teaching high school social studies the entire time. The courses include government, history, American history, world studies, geography, economics, and a whole slew of electives. I also coach. This past year, I got back into junior high girls basketball, and I also serve as one of the Quiz Bowl co-moderators and varsity baseball coach.
Can you also explain what the award is?
Yes, the award is given out each year by the VFWs across the nation. As far as the stages of it, first, that teachers are nominated at the district level. I believe there are 12 districts in the state of Iowa. Those winners go on to the state level, and state winners go on to the national level. The VFW recognizes teachers, like I said, around the country for their commitment to educating students with civic responsibility, patriotism, respect for the country, the flag, things like that.
How were you nominated for this award?
Well, that's an interesting story. Last year's winner at the state level was actually my neighbor, one classroom over, Mrs. Storm. And last year she decided, as I found out later, that following her winning the VFW Iowa Teacher of the Year in 2016-17 that she nominated me this past fall.
How are you feeling about winning this award?
It's a very humbling experience. The surprise at the NHS induction ceremony last Tuesday morning really caught me off guard, but like I said, it's a great honor to have. It's nice to know that the efforts not only of yourself but of your students are being recognized outside of this wonderful little community that I call home.
When you look back on the school year behind us, what would you say made this year a successful year?
Well, on a personal level, this past year, on October 7th, 2017, I married my wife, Audrey, and I think that has made this year extra special as I move on. I really feel like I move on to a spot where I'm establishing roots and everything else in this community. And I really believe that has made this year special. It's affected my teaching and coaching, and it's just been an overall life-changing experience.
Finally, what do you enjoy doing in your free time?
Oh, well, most of my free time I willingly and enthusiastically give to extracurricular responsibilities. But really besides that, my wife Audrey and I we like boating in the summer, getting out on the Mississippi. I've recently picked up the hobby of disc golf from a couple friends of mine. We got a wonderful little course here in Bellevue that has turned my very terrible game into somewhat mediocre. But other than that, we have 2 dogs, Jax and Suki. We like to take them for runs and walks when we can along the bike path here in town. But yeah, it seems limited, but there's definitely times that we get out and about.
I think I speak on behalf of the whole Marquette student body that we are proud to have you as a teacher in our school system, and you are very well deserving of this award.
From Marquette in Motion, this has been Maura Tracy
And Molly Minster.
Thanks, girls. Now Hallie and I will look ahead.
Monday, the varsity baseball and softball teams will have a doubleheader against Lisbon at Cole Park starting at 5 o'clock p.m.
Tuesday, there will be a JV baseball and softball doubleheader versus Bellevue at Cole Park starting at 5:30 p.m.
Thursday, there will be a JV doubleheader at home against Prince of Peace, beginning at Cole Park at 5 p.m.
Also on Thursday, there will be preschool graduation starting at 6:30 at St. Joe's Church.
Friday, the kindergartners and first graders will take their field trip.
Also Friday, there will be a varsity baseball game versus Prince of Peace at Comanche starting at 5 p.m.
And with the new softball and baseball season starting, we'd like to thank you for catching up with us today. And now, we're throwing it back to you, KMAQ.
For Marquette in Motion, this has been Miranda Peters.
And Hallie Kilberg.
And remember, stay informed, stay involved, stay
in motion.